Greetings, everyone. Hello, it's Mitch. It is time for Mitch's new show, which is yet to be defined. And guess what? I can hear myself. That's going to be annoying. So I have technical difficulties getting this stuff set up, right? I got too many things going on. There it is. There's the sound that was annoying me. Because what I was doing was checking to make sure that everything's working right. And of course, it is. Now, there's all kinds of things that we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about getting started. And look at that. I have my very first comment. And I love people in Twitch land. So let's see if this works. I have tested this a couple of times, and sometimes it works. So that's right. Thank you, Jeff. Oh, my stars. Well, that just goes to show you that I didn't do everything perfectly. But anyway, so the very first comment, if you can read it there, from somebody over on Twitch land says, "Hey, do you want to become famous?" Well, of course I do. Yes, I do. I can also do this, right? So here was that comment. Buy followers. I don't need to buy followers. I don't need you people to pay me, or I need to pay you to follow me. Claudia's here. Welcome, Claudia. Good to see you so much. I'm excited to have all these comments. There's Jeff. Hi, Jeff. Great to be here. I'm going to switch over here. Jeff says, the audio is working now. Of course it is, because you highlighted it and made me realize that that particular scene didn't have the audio turned on. But that's why I have the audio levels right below. So good to see all y'all for the very first episode of the brand new unnamed Mitch live stream. I've tentatively called it the Thank You Page Magic live stream because that's what business I am doing now. And that's what I want to help you do in your business, is to grow your leads, to grow your business by doing one simple thing that you've never probably done before. I know Claudia's done it because Claudia gets the secret. And that is on your thank you page to ask people to refer others. And there's all kinds of stuff that goes on behind that. And we are going to show you over the coming years how to grow your business. For those of you who don't know, just to go on the record, and I'm now seeing this delay that I was afraid of, but I think everything's okay. So let me just back up really fast. I have a new Mac Studio computer that I got a couple of weeks ago, and I've been trying to set that up. Everything's working fine, except I had to switch some monitors around this morning. And then I'm noticing things that weren't happening last week, like this little delay that's coming in, and sometimes it kind of impacts me. I see things working differently than what I expected them to. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Mitch. My last name is Onger. If you want to pronounce it any other way, that's great, as long as you call me. I have, in the last 8 years, built up a great little learning, a little bit of knowledge in helping you. And you see I have this t-shirt from UpViral, my good friends over at UpViral, that says I get 250,000 leads with UpViral. And what I want to do is take all of that vast knowledge and help you grow your business. So let me know who's here. I know that Jeff and Claudia are here. Bless your little pea-picking hearts. I did that too. That's long story short. I've just recently been educated by my wife and others that phrase, bless your heart, bless your pea-picking heart, can be kind of negative thing in the south of the United States. But it's something that I have said for years. And now I find out that some people think that's a negative thing. And I just caught myself doing it. So, I know if Robert is here, Robert just commented over on my recording of my live stream from yesterday. He's probably still watching that instead of coming over here because he didn't know about it. But my good friends at UpViral decided to close out. Hi, Brent! Oh my gosh. Brent is here. I haven't seen Brent in forever. Good to see you, Brent. Okay, I saw you, Brent, actually last week or 3 weeks ago on the podcast. I'm going to talk about that coming up in a few minutes as well. Claudia. Yeah, yes, Claudia. Sounds positive to me. It does, and that's the way I've always interpreted it. But let me just say that in the south of the United States, some people consider that kind of like... It sounds positive, but in the background, what they're really meaning is, oh, you are just so foolish. But bless your heart, you're trying. So they use it as kind of a really strong negative in parts of the United States. Yikes! And Mike Vergita's here. Hi, Mike. Mike is one of my movers. So is Brent. Brent is over in my movers mastermind. We'll talk about that coming up later as well, but I'm not going to try to promote everything. The question of the day that Rob asked over in... That's probably peaking too, isn't it? But it's a little loud. I'm trying to learn all of these live stream things just to be really cautious about what I'm doing. Because I noticed on the audio that I was doing yesterday that I had some loud crackling going on in the background. Anyway, so the UpViral team had a show called the UpViral Copilot Show, and I was the host of that for 2 years. And 3 weeks ago, so I might have forgotten how many weeks, 4 weeks ago, they announced that they were going to stop doing the UpViral Copilot Show, which was received with pluses and minuses, and, there are all kinds of good things and bad things. But the Copilot Show's intention was to help the users of UpViral use UpViral better. And that is something that I have always firmly believed in. And I want to continue that process by creating my own show. Now, by creating my show... And John Tanner's here. Hi, John. Welcome so much to the show. By creating that show, UpViral did some really good stuff, right? They created momentum. They're helping users use the tool in a better way. That was their goal. That's my goal. Now, they decided to shut it down because they have some plans, which I'm not aware of, by the way, to do some other things coming down the road. Great. That is awesome. But that also leaves some of us in kind of a hole without having that support. And that's where I'm coming in, right? I'm going to help y'all grow your business in a similar manner. And there are several things that I intend to do with this show. Problem is, I don't know what all those things are yet. This is going to be kind of an evolution. We're going to kind of grow into this together. I'm going to, for fun, put up my little logo video that I created because I have this fun new logo for Thank You Page Magic. And a lot of people want to know more about what Thank You Page Magic really means. So, here comes the first plug. I am doing a webinar coming up this Friday, and I'm going to teach you in that webinar how you can take your existing funnels, your existing thank you pages and add a simple ask to your thank you page. I'll put this up again later. If you have your smartphone with you, you can just use that little QR code to scan and go straight over to mitchwebinar.com, and you can opt in to be included and invited to that session coming up Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Now, I have this little sly smile because I was supposed to go tomorrow to do a colonoscopy. Thankfully, that got postponed. I still have to do it. I still have to figure that whole thing out. But that's coming up in August instead of tomorrow. So I had scheduled the webinar based around that, hoping that I would be feeling better by Friday. I know it's not a big deal. I've had a colonoscopy before. But anyway, I was originally going to do it tomorrow, but it got put to... Anyway, you don't care about all that. And John just made this comment, and I think that's absolutely true. And one of the things that I would really love to do with this opportunity that we have, and that is to talk more about other tools. John said it's an opportunity to show you how to integrate UpViral with ConvertBox and other alternatives. Right? I am not going away from UpViral. For those of you who may be curious, I love the UpViral team. I wish they would do more with their tool. There's so many things, and I have spoken with them time and time again about increasing some of the functionality and doing stuff, but it works better than just about any other tool I've ever seen, so I am not going anywhere, right? I'm still an UpViral guy, and I appreciate that, John, because I do want to show you how to use other tools. And in fact, by the way, UpViral was it last week or the week before? It was the week before, whatever. They did a 5-day boot camp, and they used ConvertBox and ClickFunnels in their sign-up process. So yes, I would love to be able to show you more opportunities, which I couldn't do in the previous show. That's all good. We're going to learn some really cool stuff, right? We're going to be able to explore things. I was just watching a little side rabbit hole here. I was just watching Picard on Paramount Plus. Great little show. If you haven't seen it, really well done show. And you know, the thought of going to where men have never gone on spaceships, and you know, where whatever, never gone before. That just popped into my head. So yes, we'll be able to do all kinds of stuff that we weren't really able to talk about in the Copilot show. Well, look at that. Another cool guy showing up. We've got a whole bunch of cool people on the show so far. Ken Moo is here. Hi, Ken. So glad you popped in. So, lots of amazing things. There are so many things. If you could go into this brain and see that do the Vulcan mind meld. There it goes back to the Picard show. If you could see the amount of stuff, the things that I could show you how to do, how to integrate surveys and to replace the front end, the lead page, the opt-in page with a survey. I know how to do that. I can show you how to do that. We can customize all of our processes for different niches. We can do challenges. We can do webinars, which, of course, if you go to my webinar, where's my sound? My webinar is free, but of course there will be an offer at the end for something that I'm going to be teaching. But if you go to that sign up, by the way, guess what? I'm walking the walk, talking the talk. That is a thank you page magic style campaign using UpViral for the landing page and the thank you page. Asking people to bring other people into my webinar for a bonus. So if you want to know kind of how I intend to use thank you page magic, bingo, there it is right there on the webinar. I have a whole bunch of sounds in, and I have got all kinds of stuff going on, and I don't even have that ready. Huh? There are not enough buttons in the world for my Stream Deck. I need to have about 5 of them. Anyway, By the way, another example of that, if you're not already on my newsletter, and Ken Moo, by the way, who commented just a few minutes ago, he has an amazing newsletter. He is in the Mike Brigida. If you're still here, you should be on Ken Moo's email list, because Ken Moo does some really cool stuff with lifetime deals. He also uses UpViral for much of what he does, so pay attention to Ken Moo. But if you go to joinmitch.com, or you do the scan with the QR code, you will see another example of a thank you page magic style campaign. Now, we're going to get into all kinds of stuff coming down the road. You know, I love to talk. Ron Edwards is here. Hello, Ronald. What's up, bud? Thank you for popping in. I am so excited. We have 15 people watching live. By the way, I am currently streaming on my Facebook profile in the Thank You Page Magic Facebook group. I'm streaming to YouTube. I'm streaming twice to YouTube, my Planet Mitch channel and my Thank You Page Magic channel. I'm streaming to Twitch to my Thank You Page Magic channel. I'm streaming, I think, to Telegram, but I haven't checked that out yet to figure out whether it works. I am also streaming to Twitter, all of those places, because I want people to be able to find this show, because what I want to do is spread the joy, the glory of Thank You Page Magic. So thank you for being here, Ronald. And Jeff says, I love the Restream feature of showing comments and which platform they come from. Yeah, isn't that cool? That is Restream bringing in the comments. It's consolidating all of the comments from all of those different places to be able to show you where they came from, which is really, really, really cool. So if you noticed, by the way, Mike was coming from YouTube. Ken was coming from Facebook. And Claudia's from Facebook. But also remember, I had this person comment from Twitch. You see down in the lower left corner of that icon is the logo of which place they're coming from. So that is really, really cool. Now, here's something that, so let me, I don't have, I got all kinds of things going on in my head, and I can't focus on just one. If I come over, I want to show you, the comments are covering up the other things, so let me move these things around. I'll get this all down to a science, trust me. Trust me. That's not the one I wanted to show. This is what happens. This is also why they have a preview option. And I think... No, that's not it. Where'd it go? I lost it. Dang it. Oh well. Sorry about that. So, just see that holds over. Go away. All the things I'm learning, I gotta make sure I turn those off before I switch. That's what I gotta do. I'm using a tool called Ecamm, if you haven't seen that. And I don't know, somebody tell me, can you read those comments, or are they too darn small? They look pretty small. One of the things the Copilot show was doing was using Zoom, and everybody could see all of the comments. Well, if I'm streaming to all these different places, and let's say Mike is over on YouTube, Mike only sees in the YouTube stream the YouTube comments. So he only gets to see what's over there. So I wanted to create a screen like this, where I could show the comments from all the different places, although I am typically bringing them on screen like this. But it's so much nicer, I think, when you can see what everybody else is saying. But I think that particular layout is kind of small. Facebook user comes in and says, not seeing any other comments. Well, that's what I just explained. Can I see yours? Yes. Now, I don't have your username because Facebook has got this privacy thing going on, and I can't see what exactly your username is unless you click on the Ecamm authorization, and I'm not even sure I put that in the comments, or I'm in the description. So again, this is one of the learning things that we're going to have to get through to be able to figure out what's working, what's not working, and what I need to improve as we go down the road. Now, what I started to say, which I thought I had set up before, is that I'm thinking about doing a very specific schedule, and that would be, actually I had that on there, but again, there's so many things in this head. So what I'm thinking about is like doing on Mondays, on the first Tuesday of the month to do a presentation, on the second Tuesday of the month to do Q&A, etc., etc. And I kind of showed that, but it didn't show up perfectly well the way I wanted to. And I kind of jumped ahead because I was thinking about this before the show. Thank you, Jeff says this is a great layout. Actually, this is pretty cool. This is Ecamm, by the way, again. The tech is awesome, and I bought this wrapper to be able to show a lot of this stuff, so it's kind of fun. And Claudia says, on my phone I can read the subtitle, but barely. I can change the layout of that, but I don't want to try to do that right now because that would take me out of my focus. Hell, I can't focus. Anyway, and Claudia also said, I like a schedule that keeps it structured. And so, yes, so here's kind of, I'll just jump into this because I didn't really, I wrote down sort of a little schedule about what I want to talk about today. I want to keep these short. Which all y'all are laughing, going, Mitch can't keep anything short. But I do like the idea of having this schedule so that everybody knows that there's a Q&A on the second Tuesday or whatever, as opposed to it just being willy-nilly, random kind of stuff. I do want to do Q&As. I do want to do reviews. But I also want, Jeff says, I also like a good schedule. I also want to be able to do some really cool stuff. And actually, I'm going to hold that off for a few minutes. Let me go through what I plan to cover. Steve! Holy cow, Steve from Facebook. From SF. What is SF? Oh, San Francisco. Your comments on screen are pretty blurry, even at full screen, but your cam feed is great. Yeah, I know, I gotta fix that. There are different styles to that, and I thought this one was kind of pretty, but it also is so dadgum tiny with all the little bells and whistles around it that I think it's hard to read. I'll go back to an easier comment feed. And I can make my picture smaller, because sometimes I'm not as important, right? So, hi Steve, by the way. And I know Claudia asked this yesterday. I know it's going to come up. Yesterday, Claudia asked, hey, is there a sign up to be notified of the show schedule and stuff? Well, we're going to get into that. At this point, what I would love for you to do, if you're not already on my newsletter, is to go sign up for the newsletter. Go to joinmitch.com, and I may actually flip that. I may go to mitchnews.com and have Join Mitch for the membership, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes coming up. But for now, if you go to joinmitch.com, you get on my newsletter, which again is a thank you page magic style campaign, and you can see some of the flavor. And if you're signed up to that, you get an additional bonus thing at the bottom of the emails. And those are something really freaking cool that I want to get into eventually with all of what we're going to do here. Deborah Lloyd is here. God, this is great. Deborah's here. I love the schedule. I don't want to miss a thing, but sometimes my caregiver schedule takes over like it did this morning, but at least I did make it. Deborah, so glad to see you. Bless your people. I did it again. but I did it sort of intentionally. I knew it. I felt it coming. That's the joy of awareness, right? So Deborah, for those of you who have been on the co-pilot show, Deborah is freaking amazing. She keeps some great notes. And one of the things, Deborah, that I'm kind of tapping around here is that there will be a membership. There will be a low-cost membership, which will have some features like the recordings, and the recordings will be... I do have that one. Let me go flip over to that. I think I have that one set up. I go here, and I come over, and I do this one. So the idea was going to be this, and I've changed things even this morning. But the idea of the membership will be you'll have priority in the Q&A and the reviews. We'll have a searchable recording library, which will be created over in a tool called Searchy. We'll have some discounts and stuff. But all of that is going to be coming. I'm still trying to form how that's going to work and what that's going to be. Because I do know recordings are important. Some people can't always make the live show. And when I'm streaming like this, of course, Facebook is capturing the recording. YouTube is capturing the recording. So all of those recordings will be out there. But it's also really nice to have them in one central spot. But I will also be giving like some discounts, maybe some free training that the non-membership people don't have. So I'm still fluctuating and figuring all this stuff out. So please be patient with me. That's coming down in a few weeks. Chris is here. Bless you, Chris. Good to see you. Great to see you starting out this project. Like the idea of focused with a single topic and a Q&A on just that topic. We'll make great references to look back on without having to wade through everything. And yes, Chris, when you see Searchy, if you haven't ever seen Searchy, you will be freaking out because Deborah says, thank you, you're so nice. Deborah's awesome. The Searchy tool has the ability that no other tool has on the planet that I'm aware of. So you record a video, and when it's inside of Searchy, Searchy automatically generates a transcript. Now, things like Loom are doing that now. YouTube generates a transcript. But those transcripts are not searchable. And they're not searchable across your whole personal library. So when I create a Searchy library, you could go in, and if you remember that I made a comment about a penguin, you can type in penguin, and it will take you right to that specific second inside the video where I said that word. It's freaking amazing. And that will make it so much better for what Chris said, by the way, to be able to create reference to look back on. And that's one of the reasons why I want to have it in this membership. Because, yeah, the videos will be spread out all over on these different places. If you go back and look at the co-pilot show, for example, and I mentioned this to them before, and they were like, I don't know. But if they're in a searchable library, then if you remember that 6 months ago we talked about building an agency, for example, then you could instantly get back to that. Now, Deborah did a great job of the co-pilot show of creating a list of all the different episodes and what we talked about, and she could get back to those things really quickly. But imagine you're not Deborah, but you do remember you made a note on an envelope like my friend Tiff Nicole likes to do. She got these envelopes all over the place, and she's like, we talked about this one time. And I'm like, yeah, we could go search it in the library. So anyway, I got some great plans. It's just a matter of executing. And I mentioned this yesterday. I was going to put all of this off until I had it all perfectly set up. And I decided over the weekend, actually yesterday morning, I was going to put this off because I keep saying I'm going to do this show and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do that. And I finally just said, put my feet to the irons or fire or whatever that phrase is. And I just did it. I said, I'm going to launch today. It's going to be a beta. I don't even have really a presentation kind of thing like I would want to do normally. But I'm just going to do it, and we're going to talk, and we're going to figure things out as we go. And so bless your hearts. I did again. Thank you for being here. Now, if any of you don't know my story, I want to go through, just to put some of this in perspective, a really fast version of my story. Deborah says, my good friend Bob always says, act now, revise later. Exactly right. And that's what we're doing here. So, the quick story of this t-shirt, and I think Up Viral has kind of missed the point, by the way, because they've not been really doing this. They said they were going to do that. Didn't really push that very far. I know of 2 people that got those plaques. My plaque is currently on the floor. But it's a great idea, and they should be doing more of that, I think. We all have great ideas, and sometimes they just fall about the wayside, and I completely understand that process. I'm going to switch over to this other camera view, by the way, and it's going to flip around, and you're going to think I'm crazy, and I didn't really even check. I think that's right. I started a website called Planet 5D. I'll jump into this before we go there. Facebook user, can you tell us what software you use for your video? Great frame around your video and the transitions. I am using a tool called Ecamm. And if you go to thankyouPageMagic.com/Ecamm, and that's ECAMM, and it is Mac only, by the way. If you're not a Mac user, sorry, you're going to have to go grab OBS or something like that. But this frame that I have, I actually purchased that, and I can't remember the name of the people. I could look that up if you need it. But I bought the frames for $30. And if you go, by the way, if you are a Mac user and you decide to use that Ecamm, please use that link, thankyouPageMagic.com/Ecamm, because I get an affiliate commission for that, and will help feed the people out there in the other room. And me. I didn't eat much anymore. Anyway. But that's Ecamm. It's a fabulous tool. I'm also using, just as a quickie, I'm using a thing called a Stream Deck. Now, I don't have my camera set up to show you that right now, but a Stream Deck is a series of buttons that are completely programmable, and I'm using that to do things to switch. For example, like to put up this. I'm using my Stream Deck to show a particular overlay inside of Ecamm. All right, enough about that. Chris, that's hilarious. I've got a new business idea right there. $30, me plus Photoshop. Yeah. I mean, that's what this particular place that I bought it, that's what they do. They sell these live streaming. There was and there's my other camera. Hi, other camera. Excuse me. And so what you now get to see is the other side of my room that you've never seen before. Blah. And my little dog Astro, you get to see his tail. And those are my great grandparents and stuff like that. So anyway, I also am gonna put a camera back here, but I didn't do that before today's show, so you can see my backside. All right. Go away, comment. Why didn't that go away? And this is Deborah posting in the comments. Ecamm, $35 for frame. Thank you, pagemagic.com/Ecamm. Thank you, Deborah Lloyd. Now, and I love this. Jeff Middleton. Hi, Jeff. Good to see you again. I know you were here earlier. I get it. Go ahead with the Ted Lasso mantra. Well, you see that. My daughter did this one. That's be curious, and it says not judgmental, but it's kind of cut off. She painted this for me. But that's from Ted Lasso. And this is something, I know, we'll talk about that later. It's very, very much something that I have been thinking a lot about in today's world. And in the other camera that you just saw, there's also the Believe poster that she did for me many months ago on my door. frame. Yes, I love Ted Lasso. All right, let's take a minute, talk about where I came from really fast. And there's that third camera, which is right over there. Hi, camera. And you see the messy side of my room with my door and my window that's covered up. There was a typo. What you're doing, Deborah, is that the frames that I have here are separate from Ecamm, and they're set up for live streaming, whether it's Twitch or whatever. So they are not Ecamm specific. So yes, Chris, you could do these. There's lots of companies that are doing these kind of things. Templates are very important for people who don't know how to do graphics, for example. All right. Stop reading the comments for a minute. When I started Planet 5D, which was the photo video blog that I created back in 2008, I was serving advertisers, and those advertisers, I could make this story 15 minutes long. But what I ended up doing was running contests for them, and I ended up using this tool called UpViral. And the 250,000 leads that I gathered from doing that were significant. And those are 250,000 leads in my account that I gave to them. So they're not all my leads. And I've done way more than this with clients in their own accounts and students and everything else. So the number is much bigger than 250,000. But if you haven't seen this before, I think it's very significant, and I want to jump into it just for a few seconds. This is a football stadium that holds 100,000 people. 100,000 people fit in that stadium. Now, I don't know if they're all in that stadium, and why did that go away? Because I wasn't ready for it to go away. But if you put 261,904 in there, that's 2.5 plus stadiums worth of people. All right, that's a significant number of people. Oh, it switched again. If you are thinking about that number, it's kind of overwhelming. But the key to all of that really is this number. This number, why did that not show up? There it is. Using a tool called UpViral, I was able to refer those 250,000 people, 113,837 of those were referred. Those were brought in by somebody else, simply by me asking them to refer others. Now, that's 43%. If you do that quick division, that's 43%. Now, imagine your business getting a 10% bump or a 20% bump or a 30% bump. That's pretty significant, right? And so when I started seeing these numbers, when I started really understanding how businesses could use this process, things changed for me. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, so let me finish this. I'm going through a program that Stu McLaren teaches called the Membership Experience. And in the Membership Experience, one of the things he teaches is to do what's called a success path. And that's to show a progression for your community as to how they can go through what you have to teach and become better businesses. And that's what I have done. And that's where I've been spending the last year, little over a year. Now, I had a magical experience with one of my mentors, and her name is Jennifer Trask. On May 19th of last year, I had this conversation with her, and I explained to her what I was doing. And she said, again, in a very short version of this story, she said, "Isn't that your thank you page?" Because UpViral calls that second page in the process the share page. And for all of those 250,000 leads, I have been calling it the share page because that's what UpViral calls it. And this light bulb moment happened in last May 19th, where I realized that I've been using the wrong wording. That entrepreneurs, people like y'all, don't use the word that way. They don't understand what a share page is. If I say share page to them, to you, unless you're really deeply in bed with UpViral, you don't know what that is. But the vast majority of entrepreneurs know what a funnel is, and they know that the second page after you opt in is called the thank you page. And so when I went through that process with Jennifer, the light bulb, as I said, went off, and things changed in my mind. Because I had been struggling with taking this contest thing and expanding it to bigger things. Because I've told you all along in the Copilot show, you can use it for webinars, you can use it for newsletters, you can use it for all these other things that are inside your funnels. And therefore, the expense of having UpViral becomes a whole lot less because you're now using it for everything. We're going to go down that path here in the new show, all the way down the paths. But it became clear. I did this diagram, and I am going to, I don't have this set up yet for a fancy, where'd it go? I don't have it set up for a fancy button. Here it is, no camera. So the stages that Stu talks about, what I did was I went back and I thought about the different places, the different phases that people go through when they're learning what I want to learn, what I want them to know. And if you can read this, it might be a little small over on your side, but the very first stage is an entrepreneur. And when I say thank you page magic, they go, "What are you talking about?" But I do recognize the phrase thank you page, and I know I have those in my funnels. And so step 2 of these stages is what I'm calling an apprentice. And if somebody goes through my webinar that I have talked about before, earlier on the show, this one, and now I'm in the phase, there it is. This webinar will get you to stage 2. And you will be an apprentice, and you will understand all of the things that you could do manually without any automation, without any tools. You could start asking people to refer others. Now, step 3, stage 3, what I'm calling a magician, says, all right, I understand the manual process. Now I want to start using tools, whether it be UpViral or other tools, to automate these functions and automate the tracking so that I don't have to do a whole bunch of manual work. And then stages 4 and 5, which I'm not going to go into great detail, but that's basically taking the basic knowledge of the automation and implementing it in more places. And when you get to stage 5, you are using it for everything in your business. Now that's where I want to get all y'all. Now, how does that fit in to what I'm doing? Because I think that's important. Now I still don't have my button, and I need to do this manually. So I'm gonna, no, I don't want that.
Hey Mitch, good to hear from you.
It's a perfect.
That's not what I want either. Where did it go? I was just in it. I shouldn't have changed it. Sorry. You can still hear me, right? How embarrassing. I don't want the outro. But that's the full desktop. Where'd it go? I just had it. Here it is. Sorry. I'm sorry. This is all learning. We're all good, right? So if you think about the 2 different things, I'm thinking about 2 memberships. Now I have this thing called the Movers Mastermind. You see stages 3, 4, and 5 down at the bottom. there's this Movers Mastermind. And the Movers Mastermind is a place where I can help you go into great detail. That's where Mike, who is here, if he's still here, and Brent, those people are all over in the Movers Mastermind. We go really in depth in the Movers Mastermind, showing you, analyzing you, teaching you it's a group environment, but a lot of times we spend a good amount of one-on-one time. And then I talked earlier about the second membership, the low-cost membership, and that's where I'm going to be serving the people that are just getting started. And so this is not kind of, but this is exactly where I think we need to go. And it's taken me all of this time because stages 3, 4, and 5 is where I've spent a lot of time. The co-pilot show is totally focused over in 3, 4, and 5, right? You become aware of UpViral, and they put you right into the automation phase. They put you right in there, and they throw you in with all the bells and whistles. But a lot of times you don't understand the basics. You don't understand how you could do it all manually. And therefore, I feel like this is a much better way to get people to understand the entire process. Again, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this webinar. The very first time I'm doing this webinar on Friday. And it is aimed at people, honestly, in stages 1 and 2, and maybe in 3. Now, if you're already in stage 3 where you're using UpViral, it doesn't hurt you to come over and learn some of the basics. When you're a baseball player and they have spring training, where do they start in spring training? They start learning the basics and executing the basics again. And I think what is missing in a lot of the upper level kind of training is the total understanding what's going on in the basics. And so nobody's commenting. You're all just enraptured and listening to what I'm talking about, hopefully. But it's been the last year or so of me kind of just trying to wrap my head around how I can serve businesses better. There are so many entrepreneurs that are not ready to jump into stage 3. They're not ready to jump into the automation because they don't understand the basics. And so that's why I want to do this show, to be able to get people to be exposed to the entire process, to show them how this functionality, whether you're using UpViral or some other tool, and there are other tools that do similar things, it's not about the tool, although I talk a lot about the tool, especially on the old show, we talked a lot about the tool because that's what I was paid to do, right? This is where I intend to go to help bring people into the world of the UpViral stuff. And by the way, do I have that? We're gonna go right off the edge here because I don't remember. There's 2 other slides here in this. I don't want to turn that one on. I want to turn that one off. Here it shows you a little bit better. The entrepreneur is the webinar. The apprentice gets the webinar goodies and the scripts and the stuff that I'm going to give away in there. In stage 3, I have a new UpViral Quick Start that I have not yet really announced. There's the secrets of the UpViral editor. There's a planning course. There's this new program I'm going to offer at the end of the webinar. And then there's the newsletter, the challenge, the podcast, all these other different verticals that we can do in stage 4. And in stage 5, you're just flat out doing just everything. And so this is kind of, it's helped me understand, and I think it will help you, hopefully, understand what functionality. I gotta remember to get rid of those comments. See, it's just going to go through all of them, isn't it? And this is the way that I think things will smoothly transition, and everybody will sort of understand where they are in the process. And it feels to me that once you understand where you are in the process, then it'll make a whole lot more sense when you get to the end, and you'll understand everything, and it'll just be flowing like it does in my brain, and it'll all be coordinated. So I've either lost everybody or y'all are just totally enraptured because nobody said anything in the last 10 minutes. But thank you for listening to that. I hope it was helpful for you to understand where the future is going and what I will be able to help you do. And you'll be able to pick whatever stage you want to be in, where you want to be, and I'll be able to help you in those stages. Oh, thank you, Claudia. Starting to think nobody could hear me or anything, but Claudia says I'm impressed. Thank you. Deborah says I'm here and hearing you. So good. All right. I did say earlier that I want to keep these things pretty short. I think I've covered just about everything that I want to cover. I am planning right now, because I don't have the membership even really all packed together, this new membership, what I'm going to include in it, what's I don't know, I haven't nailed all that stuff down. You did see, I think, when I switched over to this scene, and I had this slide that I accidentally showed, that one of the things that I'm considering is taking the Q&A and the membership review, the reviews, the campaign reviews, and putting them as members only for this low-cost membership. Because I have two functions, right? I have two things that I sort of have to think about. Mike, for example, is here. He is in the Movers Mastermind, and that's an expensive group / one-on-one kind of help. I don't want to make a low-cost thing that just totally ruins the value of that one. But I also, want to be sure. Let me flip back over to this. I also want to be sure that I am not just giving everything away for free. Now, when I was doing the co-pilot show, I got paid a little bit, right? So there was some income coming from sharing that. And I intend to continue doing some portions of stuff for free. But as my good friend Bradley also says, by the way, Mitch, you give away too much stuff. You give away too much free stuff. Claudia says you could create a beta membership. That's exactly kind of sort of where I'm going. I'm going to create it, and I may. Well, I intended to announce it today, but I don't even have a page for you to go purchase. My intent is to give you the ability to get in there, help me grow it, make it a really low-cost startup thing, and go from there. And it will be a beta, and we will definitely figure out what's going on along the way. But at the same time, the more I thought about doing a completely free weekly show like I was doing in the previous thing, like that I can promote stuff, but if I keep giving away, what is the phrase? If you give away the milk, then the whatever. Deborah says the same thing that basically Claudia just said, do a founder special lifetime deal. Yes, that's my intent. I just have not made the time to totally really get that set up. My thoughts this morning were that I was going to offer that throughout the month of June, and then bam, we would raise the price later. I actually did do a founder's lifetime probably 3 years ago, which Brent, if he's still here, Brent was one of the original people in that. And he is still grandfathered into using some of the stuff because he joined me very early in the process. Linda Lamont is one of those people as well. So anyway, Deborah says that would let you kickstart, and those people would be supporting you to grow it. Absolutely. I mean, the founder's launch is one of the things that Stu talks about in the membership experience. I'm laughing at Jeff's comment. A low-cost membership and let it go viral via a thank you page. Yes, Claudia, that's exactly what I want to do, and I did not get it set up before today. Based on what you saw, by the way, if I told you that the regular low-cost membership was going to be $47 a month, would that be too much? And that includes Q&As, recordings, potential discounts. Would that be too much or too little? Is that a good founder's price and then it be $97? You guys can help me figure this out. The reason I'm laughing at Jeff's comment, because Jeff says Everlesson. I didn't remember you from Everlesson. Everlesson was a tool that all of a sudden I can't come up with his name. I can picture his face. Why can't I come up with his name? Probably because I wanted to block it. Chad Nicely, who was the creator of Everlesson. Yeah, thank you, Chad. Oh, I spent a lot of money on that guy. So nobody's answering my question about the pricing. Let's see. Chad, yes, Chad. Who is that Facebook user? Tell me who you are. It is so good, by the way, to see all of you, and I appreciate you being here. I was afraid that I would get here because I didn't do a major announcement. I did put out a newsletter. Yes, Linda Nawant was there also. That's actually where I met Linda. Linda and I went to... why are your names suddenly not working for me? Deborah says, thank you, Deborah. 47 sounds like a great value given the members' projected return on investment. Absolutely. So many things my brain does well and then doesn't do. Jeff, you and I, Jeff says, me too. What? Steve, right, Steve. Chad Nicely liked to rant about apathy. Chad Nicely liked to rant about a lot of stuff. He's a very smart guy, very energetic, very fun to talk to. But he was also a little bit on the, I don't know, smarmy side. Some people used to call Chad Nicely a used car salesman. I didn't think it was that bad, but there were things that... Anyway, we don't want to bash Chad Nicely. I learned a lot of good things from him. I spent time with him at his house in Vegas. Lots of good stuff. Jeff says I met Linda through Everlesson. What I'm trying to remember, Jeff, is the guy that was the magician, that's the sales guy that we went to the webinar, it's a seminar in California. Why his name's not coming to me. I actually met Linda face to face there at that particular event. Claudia, we got to get this fixed. Now, one of the things I've been careful about, Claudia says I have not broken even on UpViral yet. Depends upon ROI. Thanks a lot, Jeff. You're not helping. Jeff says he doesn't remember that guy's name either. I've thought about him a lot, and there's many things that I've learned from him. I found a couple of papers of his. I'm looking behind me. Chris Record. No, that's not it, Steve. John Tanner. Good to see you. I mentioned you before. I have to figure out my priorities for what I'm trying to develop. Well, of course. We all have to figure out what is best for us. I will say, when you think about this stuff, and I got to go back to Claudia's comment. I have not broken even on UpViral yet. Now, here's the key. Claudia, let me ask you a question. Has UpViral brought you 100 new leads? Let me know if that's true or not. And it's gotten really warm in here. I'm sorry, I'm going to turn on my fan a little bit. Claudia, have you gotten 100 leads with UpViral yet? Not 100 yet. All right, well then, good. You were preaching to the choir here. Because, I've preached this before. According to the marketing industry, a lead is worth $1 per person per month. And if you are using the $79 UpViral level, all you need is 100 people, theoretically, to make UpViral break even, right? Because every month, theoretically, those 100 people should bring you $100 in revenue if you are properly nurturing and using your email list to do sales. But we've got to get you there. One of the things that was interesting to me, and I'm very careful. I don't really ever want to bash UpViral. They do lots of great stuff. But I in the boot camp that they did, for example, they made a guarantee that if you bought the VIP program and you did not get 500 new people on your list, then they would give you your money back for the VIP. And that's a great guarantee. Chad Nicely would tell you to do that all day. But I still struggle. Chad and I were very different in terms of that. I still struggle because I know there are people, blessedly good people like Claudia, who would do an UpViral campaign and struggle to get 100 people, much less 500. And I don't want to overpromise to people like Claudia. I don't want to promise that your campaign is going to go viral or that you're going to get 10,000 leads. And that's one of the reasons why I differ with the theory. I don't want to say UpViral because there are a hell of a lot of marketers that would, Chad Nicely is a good example, would tell you to promise that they're going to get 1,000 leads. And it just doesn't always work that way. I'd much rather talk about percentages, right? If I could get you 10% more leads and you could grow by 10% every month by the end of the year, that's 120% growth. You've doubled your list. And if you start your list with 150 people and by the end you get 300, then you consider that really good growth, right? I would not ever promise somebody, and I had mentors tell me time and time again, well, just promise that you're going to deliver 1,000 leads per month. And I'm like, no, I can't. I don't feel good about that because we're all at different levels. We're all on our own journey. We're all trying to get someplace. For example, Claudia says, now why is that not popping up? Dang it, that's not working. Claudia said, a small group and a small list. Second part-time business with lots to do. Yes, we all have lots to do. I'm the perfect example of that. I work lots of hours in a day and I still don't seem to get stuff done. See if that works. That worked. Jeff, let's see if it brings up Jeff's. It doesn't. What if my cursor, is the cursor in the way? Is that the problem? No, that's not it. Suddenly my button's not working. I think if you say you will show people the basics from which to create high ROI, and then you show them, then that is huge value. And I like that one, Jeff. That's exactly more the direction I would much rather go. And I do things like when I'm talking about Thank You Page Magic, if you are talking to an entrepreneur, and let's say the entrepreneur has 5,000 people on their list, and you say to them, because they have a business that's already sort of entrenched and they have a good number of people in their community, if you say, well, I can help you grow your list by 10%, then they go, oh, I get that, right? I want 10% more. And I say, well, okay, my current rate overall in the last 8 years has been 43% growth. Can you imagine doing that? And then their eyes are like, 43%? Could I do 43% growth in a year? Then hell yeah, they're interested in that. Deborah says, I agree. Don't stake a number. Instead, walk your customer through the math for themselves. It's much more authentic and real. That's exactly sort of what I'm doing. Yes. Jeff said, this also gives you a path to the higher tier memberships. Bingo! That's the plan, right? Get you started on the basics, get you totally understanding the process. And that's the struggle that I've had, frankly, with some of the members in the Movers Mastermind. They have joined in the Movers Mastermind and they have wanted to just dive straight in, and they've got great ideas, and some of them, and they would tell you, they didn't really understand the basics because that's not taught anywhere. This is what I've learned in the last 8 years, which is what I'm going to help all y'all do, is to understand the basics first. The webinar that I'm doing, plug on Friday, if you haven't signed up, go to mitchwebinar.com and opt in for that, or use your smartphone, take that picture. But this is where you guys are going to love me, because UpViral and the other vendors, I'm not just going to pick on them. I'm not picking on them. It's their facet of business. That's the way they want to sell you their tool. Gleam wants to sell you their tool. Viper wants to sell you their tool. And what they want you to then do is to use the tool as if you understand the process. And so many of the people that I have worked with don't even understand that this is a simple 2-page funnel, right? What do you mean it's a 2-page funnel? I want to do 5 pages. You got to understand the basics, that this is a 2-page funnel. And once you understand those basics, you can do so much with it. You can do the webinars. You can do the newsletter signups. You can do all the things that I show you how to do. And I can take you there. I can take you and give you models. I can give you templates to do all of those things. Deborah, bless your pea-picking heart. Mitchwebinar.com. Yes, I can flash that again. Mitchwebinar.com. And if you use your smartphone, many people don't know this either. Whether you're on Android or iPhone, if you just open the phone Photos app, that QR code will take you somewhere. All you got to do is tap on it. Works in Android, works in iPhone. It used to be that you had to have a special app on your phone to make that happen, but you don't anymore. It's built right into your phone, into your Photos, your camera app in your smartphone. So all you got to do is point and shoot. All right, and yes, I think did I post this? This process is part of a bigger picture to get the train going. That's the thing that I struggle with, and many other people I've spoken with struggle with the loss of the Copilot show. And I don't know what their plans are. I don't know whether they have something coming. Maybe they're going to do something really fancy and squish me like a bug. That's what business is like, right? But I intend to show you how to use whatever tool you want to pick. UpViral is my fan favorite, and I know how to use that inside and out to do all of these things with the special bells and whistles, or the simple basics if that's what you want to do. If you don't have UpViral yet, by the way, here's the slide. Go to buyupviral.com. Plug. and pick that up, because then I will get a 50% commission from your purchase. But I do think it's very important, like going back to Claudia's comment, it is very important for y'all, all of y'all, to remember. I'm trying to get to it. I have not broken even on a viral yet. All you gotta do is start thinking about this metric. $1 per lead per month. A lot of people think a viral is really expensive. And some of the other tools, by the way, are much more expensive than a viral. But if you start thinking about that metric and you start growing your list, then it all becomes obvious that this is the place you need to be focusing. This is the place Mitch needs to be focusing. I am focusing on growing my list. Each one of these links, well, not that one, buyupviral.com just takes you to my affiliate link so that you hopefully buy UpViral. But things like the webinar link and the newsletter link and the other ones that I will show you, most of the time will be a Thank You Page Magic style campaign built in UpViral, because I believe in the process. I have seen other people, I won't name names, but who build opt-ins that have a tool and they don't use their own tool. Doesn't quite make sense to me. I am practicing what I'm preaching. The webinar sign up, by the way, just so you know, I don't think I picked the right incentive because people are not referring others. I've done something wrong there, but I'm looking at my stats like I've taught you before. I'm looking at the stats to see what's working and what's not working. I thought this was going to be a great bonus when you opt into the webinar. One of the things that I've offered as an incentive was that I will come review your new thank you page. And I don't think that's quite sunk in to most people because they're not there yet. They don't understand it yet. I thought it was going to be a good thing, but I don't think they get it. And so they're not referring people. But that's my lesson, right? I'm learning from testing, throwing things out there, and making things happen. That's the way we need to do this. All right, let's wrap this up, if you don't mind. It's been an hour and 12 minutes. I am trying to keep things a bit shortened, and I so appreciate each and every one of you being here and commenting. This is exactly what I envision, the ability to have these one-on-one conversations. See? We've already changed one person today, and that's my goal. Bing! Magic. This is the magic. Claudia says, light bulb. I will set smart goals for both of my businesses to make it profitable. I'm kind of assuming she's talking about UpViral, but yes, this is the point. Use the tools that you have in your business to help your business grow. Jeff says, goodbye. Thank you very much for being here. Jeff also said, I've seen a model where people are provided free memberships as long as they sign up through your affiliate link, that they can pay the membership if you don't. Yes. Yes. I've thought about doing that too. Thank you for that, Jeff. I will also consider that in my processes. And it was good to see you, Jeff. Thank you for being here. Everybody else, thank you so much for being here. Next week, I will plan on doing a Q&A. At least that's what's going on in my head, is to have a schedule. But if we don't have any good questions popping in, then I will talk about something. So, John, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Why is that button is not working? John said thank you for being. Thanks, John. Thank you for being here. Plan on next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Wherever you are watching from today, that's where I'll be broadcasting until the membership thing is up and running and we decide to do whatever we're going to decide to do. I will be here again next week at this time. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your participation. The conversations, the one-on-one back and forth is so helpful so that I don't just stand here and pontificate without feeling, I can't see your faces. So what do I know? All right. Thank you for tuning in. I am going to try. Steve says, great talk. Some good magic. Thank you, Mitch. You're welcome, Steve. I appreciate you being here. And we'll figure out how to get your name on here. So I have this fancy exit. We're going to see if it works. So far, some of the things haven't worked perfectly. Why is that now suddenly working? Must have to do with the scene or something. All right, we will catch you again next week or on the webinar on Friday. Don't forget to come to the webinar.
Hey, Mitch, good to hear from you.
It's a perfect ending.
I am grateful. Grateful to get away.
Good day.
I'll be back.